You're on.
Okie dokie. Let's get the party going. Hi, I am Carla Vaughn, and I am with Wow Words of Wisdom. And I'm here with my trusty sidekick, Henry. And today we are going to talk about sweet spots. It's the holidays, right? Love the holidays, hate the holidays, not sure about the holidays. It's okay because somewhere in the point of all holidays, there has got to be a sweet spot. Whether that sweet spot has to do with you and your business, or your sweet spot has to do with your family, or your sweet spot has to do with the love of your life, we are going to talk about sweet spots today.
Ooh, I like that. Just the way you're talking, the sweet spots, because don't you tend to eat all the sweets?
I got a little extra fluff, so yes, I love sweets. You know that.
I do too. I have a problem with that, but because I've got a medical condition that prevents me from eating out of the ordinary. I got to go back to this diet of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
But I love sweets. And when I went in for my doctor appointment and stuff, she's personally, you know how they just do automated stuff with her. She personally said, "Stay off the sweets, Henry, and cut back on the sweets." 3 times she put it in there. She knew I was eating.
How many times does she have to tell you that, right?
She knew what I was doing. That was interesting.
Well, you know what, Henry? I get it. So, just on the physical plane, sweets, and you've got a sweet tooth like you and me, obviously, okay? You do have to watch it, okay? You do have to sit there and say, what is good for my body? What is good for my teeth? What is good for my figure? What is good for my skin? People that like sweets sometimes have adverse effects, which is like really crappy, but it does make you put yourself in control. Okay,
That's
so
right.
For me, I love sweets, but part of my sweet stuff is I have a sensitive stomach, so not good. But I will tell you what one of my networking buddies pretty much did for me a few months ago. The topic was your sweet spots. And that's what I wanted to talk about because
I like that.
There's sweet spots in food. We know that, okay, right? We gotta love that. But there's also sweet spots.
You better get that fixed.
I better get that
fixed. You eat too many sweets.
The sweet spot of your business, though, that is something that we had this discussion on. And, I'm one of these people. I read a lot. I listen to webinars. I go to seminars. I go to network, all that other good stuff, all right? Sometimes it's just to, find out what other entrepreneurs are doing. But this particular meeting, that's what they wanted to focus in on. And I had to sit there. When I got off the call, I sat there and I started thinking, what is my sweet spot with my business? So today, I want to encourage everybody out there listening to phone in and share with us what your sweet spot with your business is. So anyway, what the conversation was about, they said, look at your business processes. Look at what it takes for you to get from point A to point B with a customer. Selling that customer, servicing that customer, marketing that customer. What is it about your business that's your sweet spot?
Oh, I like that because that really rings a bell. When you talk about sweet spots, a lot of business owners have these sweet spot that they just love about their business, and there's this area that they love doing. It's that I'll go to this one. I'll take care of this one. Is that the sweet spot we're talking about?
Right. And I had to really think about it for me, and I was like, on my accounting business, what's like my favorite part?
Whoa.
So I talked to a new client today. She's doing QuickBooks training. She makes cupcakes and cakes and wedding cakes, okay? I've already told her if things get tough and she can't pay my bill, just deliver a bunch of cupcakes and cakes, and I won't even know that it didn't get paid because I'll be being paid in cupcakes, okay? But I realized this, I talked to her today and we were doing some troubleshooting, and I was like, oh, she's hitting my sweet spot, okay? And that sweet spot for me is that beginning relationship with a client.
Whoa.
I like to have contracts signed and deposits and a little bit of money and all like that. Yes, that's all well and fine. But it's like that honeymoon period for me. That first couple of encounters or that first few months and their monthly bookkeeping clients, that's my sweet spot because I'm getting to know someone and their passion.
And this is nice. You really delve into people's businesses because you figure if you know it real well and you can do their books, do all their little paperwork for the state, the city, the county, whatever, and all these variables, they come to you because you're doing the books and you're doing the numbers, you're crunching numbers, and they trust you. And you get to know these people and they trust you so well. After a while, you think, wow, this is really nice to have somebody like you, and you can employ her as an accountant. So she's got this stuff. And you do it well, too. I hear a lot of stuff. You read about her. You can see her up online, and there's nothing but nice things being said about you. And, we talked about this, about having sweet spots. And in a business, when you start a business, sometimes you get into a business and you find it really rough. This whole thing is rough. Where's the sweet spots?
Exactly. It's like, I got into this business because I thought I was going to really like it.
Yeah.
And I'm having these issues, and I hate this, and I hate that, and blah, blah, blah. And that sometimes is something we have to focus in on, especially when we're getting started.
And you talk about sweet spots. I mean, even though you're working 100 hours a week and not getting paid, that's a sweet spot in itself. It's teaching you something there. Whoa. That's real.
It is. But I tell my clients all the time, I don't care if it's your first day in business or your 1,000th day in business, you got to pay yourself.
That's right.
Because it's a lot of it is psychological. And I always hear the same thing. Right behind I say, you got to pay yourself, which is, but I'm not making any money. And I'm like, I don't care. You are spending all this time and energy for this. Pay yourself $25 every 2 weeks. Yes. Anything.
Well, you know what I did is I reprimanded myself. Took myself into the office and
my goodness. That must have been a conversation.
No, man, I talked to myself for a while. After a while, you heard all the noise and came out, tail between my legs, and okay, get busy. Just like that, because I've heard that one too. It's like, oh, you got to talk to yourself sometimes. Whoa.
You do.
It's true. It's real. That's
you
real.
Do.
It's like, what am I doing? And if you don't get to this area like you're talking about of having a sweet spot in your business, it's no fun.
Exactly.
It's like,
exactly.
You want to have, when you watch some people in their businesses, they're little smiling, walking around. Why? Because they're happy with what they're doing. They know they have a couple or three sweet spots in their business. Maybe the beginning, the in between, the end, whatever they're doing.
Absolutely.
Maybe they have clients that make them smile. That this one client that comes and that's their sweet spot that's coming every month or every year or whatever.
Exactly.
Everybody has those sweet spots, right?
Everyone does, but the problem is this, Henry, is not everybody recognizes them.
Right.
That's the bad part. Whether you're in that startup or you're at growth phase, I want you to take a minute, go to WOW, Words of Wisdom for the smallbusinessowner.com, so WOW for smallbusinesses.com, and I want you to find that particular webinar that's going to resonate with you. Whether it's working on how to become a success, that self-talk, that identifying your good clients versus the clients you realize you're wasting time over, whatever it is, but go to the website, fish around, see what's there, see what resonates with you. Because that's actually going to be the thing that you're going to need to listen to, whether it's the title or the description or whatever. The thing about sweet spots is this, though, is that not enough of us focus in on them. Ironically, when that piece of chocolate cake is sitting on that plate in front of you, you're focusing.
Who's that?
No,
I imagined it.
Do the same thing with your business. Think about all the business processes that you do from beginning to end to make a client happy. For some of us, that sweet spot isn't until the end, till that client has given us a pat on the back or said, oh, we really enjoyed your service, or we really enjoyed your food, or we really enjoyed whatever it is that you're providing, and we're terribly satisfied and thank you so much. Maybe that is your sweet spot, or maybe it's doing the actual work, the actual creation, or the actual service. But that's something that you really have to look at. So you sit there and say, well, how can I really find my sweet spot? Write down those processes.
And you're talking about this area about writing down stuff. There's people who will have a client, like we're talking about. They're hardly paying anything, maybe $25 for just a little advice, let's just say.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get so upset, oh, that wasn't worth it, and they go report you to the Better Business Bureau. Those are the ones.
I know, and you know what? So I actually had a long-standing, well, she had been with me about 2 years, year and a half, whatever. She wrote something bad about me and put it out there on the internet.
Yeah, how come they think that's their resolve or something?
Yeah, and I was like, your situation wasn't caused by me. It had to do with the state and its taxes and stuff like that. But, you know, sometimes we misplace where that blame is. And I had talked to an advisor on the situation, and she said, "How long you been in business?" And I said, "Right about 20 years." And she said, "And this is your first real."
That's not bad, isn't it?
Yeah, and I said I'm working to de-emotionalize. Like, I need to understand that sometimes you can't make everyone happy all at the same time.
That's right.
Okay, so I got to forget that part of it. But I'm spoiled because most people are happy with me for whatever reason. Okay, but I was like, she wrote this bad thing, and you know she's all disgruntled and blah 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 blah. And the advisor told me, she said, think about how long you've been in business. In other words, she kind of slapped me through the phone and made me wake up. Yeah.
Like Bugs Bunny always puts his hand in the phone.
And I was like, oh, yeah. So I think it was an eye opener for me, and it was an eye opener that perhaps I provide enough sweet spots to a bazillion other people, and that occasional one that will fall out the box or blame me for something or be unhappy or whatever, that I do everything to remedy the situation, and it'll never happen, and they'll just continue with that nonsense, that's okay too. Because you know what? They're like a fly on the icing of my cupcake. And I just gotta click them off like that, because
like the
they're stuck in their own
on the vice
stupidness.
president. Do you ever remember when the vice president was talking on TV and the fly flew on his head?
Uh-huh.
Do you remember that one?
Yes, yes, yes.
That was nobody cared what he said. It was all
Everybody wanted to see what was happening with the fly. Yeah.
And here's one for you that I thought was really interesting. Okay, so I take this call. It's for one of the the KUHS computer business, and he just went off on me, blah 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 blah, and you just, your business, blah blah, and I've been with you guys, blah blah blah, just went off, and just for grins, I said, "Who are you with 60 Minutes? Are you trying to boost your ratings or something?" He didn't find that funny, but I was having a good time.
That's great.
Then as he kept going on, he goes, "This isn't XXX Computers." I go, "No, this is KUHS Computers." "Oh my God, I got the wrong company." "Yeah, that's what I was fooling with you, He goes, "Hey, that was funny, so he really liked the way I joked with him. He was happy. Then he said, "Well, maybe I can bring it to you." I go, "Yeah, bring it in." So it's just
awesome.
So in
you
that,
turned that around.
That humor kind of, broke the ice. But he was going apeshit. That's one of my favorite lines, Who are you, with 60 Minutes? Are you trying to boost your ratings or what?
Well, there's a saying in the Buddhist practice, and it's called turn poison to medicine.
Yes.
And that is what you did.
Or turn that vinegar right into honey.
There you go.
So you can do it. There's ways to do it, and you just got to know what words to use, how to approach it, and smiles always break it down. What you looking? Why are you laughing at me? That's not laughing. I'm smiling at you. I'm warming you up. They look at you like, what? And they don't know what to say. And then they finally come loose, and you can resolve their problems, whatever it may be. And it really isn't a problem with you and them. It's a problem they're having somewhere else. And
exactly. So, and it can be misplaced aggression and all like that.
Yes.
So
We see that. Yeah, everybody sees that in the business world.
Honey, we see this standing in line at the grocery store. It's like, it was like, why are you all upset?
This lady was telling this other lady, she had black hair, she's very pretty, black-haired lady standing in line, and she was just standing there, and this other lady tells her, "And why are you even in here?" She goes, "Why don't you go back to where you come from?" And then the lady turns around and tells her, "Well, I'm Native American. Where do you want me to go?"
Oh, what I call burn.
I was in there, whoa!
But that says it all.
That said it all. It's like,
yeah.
where do you want me to go?
So years ago, when I had moved to California, and so I was marketing securities, and that meant I had to get in the car and travel for almost an hour and a half to LA. I was listening to this religious radio show, and I was like, it was kind of like outside of my usual, but hey, I had a long drive, right? And it was really, really great because, it was a call-in, and the moderator was talking about focusing in on the good stuff, focusing in on how to make your world better, how to make your spiritual commitment to yourself better, all this wonderful stuff. Just like I do it. Wow. Wow for smallbusinesses.com, trying to do that. Keep you focused, right? And so this woman calls in and she says, but this, and this, and but this, and I can't, and blah, 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 blah. So she goes on and on. So she talks for a minute or two. And so the moderator says, look, I want you to think of this. You are in a field of grass and the sun is shining. Why are you looking at the weeds?
We do that a lot of. Why is there so many weeds?
Yeah. And the woman on the phone was dumbfounded. And so this is what I'm saying on that sweet spot. Look at that beautiful grass and the sun shining and the flowers and the birds, and look at what is making you happiest in your business processes. So we invite you to call in. Tell us what your sweet spot is with your business. What number should they be calling?
It's 720-386-0513, and it's right behind us right here. So
ta-da! If
you can't see it anywhere else, you can see it right here, and it's scrolling fairly slow. But it's 720-386-0513, and let's hear what you got to say. Carla's going to talk to you, and we're going to listen to what you have to say. And you don't have to say your name if you feel like you don't want to put your name out there. A lot of people...
Well, no, actually, you do have to say your name, Henry, but you can say it as a fictitious name. I had a friend who said he'd go in and order his Starbucks, and they'd say, what's your name? And he'd say it was Thor. Okay, so if you want to be Thor, if you want to be Bugs Bunny, if you want to be whoever...
But then, if you go to a Starbucks and put your name as Thor, and they say, okay, Thor, and you go, I'm Thor! Well, do you need some salve or balm to put on your sore spots or what? No, I'm Thor!
So you can call and actually be whoever you want to be.
I'm trying to
give
give little jokes in there, but they're not flying. They just kind of lifted and came right down. Sorry.
No, it's good. So all Henry is saying, for those that want to call in, it's 720-386-0513, is if you want to be anonymous, be anonymous. That's fine. Okay? But would love to hear what is your sweet spot. Or if you have questions on how to identify your sweet spot, because you do have to figure out what it is. Because I think most of us know those things that make us unhappy. We're looking at the weeds in this field of grass on a sunny day. Stop looking at the weeds and look at what makes you happiest. Because the thing is this, and this is what I have realized once I had that discussion and started looking at my sweet spot, was I created a new sense of happiness, awareness for myself. And I realized that my happiness is totally predicated on my sweet spot on other people. But it's the getting to know you. It's my romancing of the new business that it's such a joy. But the thing is this, it's helped me better improve customer service on the front end instead of just throughout. So as soon as I meet someone, I try to immediately make sure I send an email and say, it was so good talking to you today. Thank you for considering us. That's it. So some of my sweet spot doesn't require high maintenance behind it. It just requires a thank you for taking the time to engage in a free consultation. So what's your sweet spot?
And some of the things we used to do, we used to buy swag. You know what swag is? You buy hats, little cards, not little cards, but keychains, and all these variables. And you say, hey, I brought this for you. I mean, if you want it. It has your name and stuff on it. Oh, and even a little gift like that they like. But then that's good promotion for you at the same time. Hats, people love hats. Everybody loves hats. I don't know, something about hats everybody will take.
We're in Colorado.
Yeah.
So much sun, and when it's not sunny, it's cold. So some kind of way, yes, we need a hat.
Well, you know what's like the weather. The weather's been kind of different lately. And talking about the weather, even in business, the weather affects your sweet spots.
Mm-hmm.
And lately I've noticed there's a lot of people saying, man, we've got to have some cold weather or something going on. Well, it affects the snowplow people. People shovel snow, and that was their sweet spot. Come on, snow, please. You know, all these variables. You know, it's like
Yes.
Weather will affect your sweet spots. Just the client or people who work for you too.
Mm-hmm.
Now I found something about your vibe attracts your tribe, and
Yes.
when you attract certain people to come and work with you, for you, or around you, you've got to make sure and attract those that bring in sweet spots.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at them and you say, okay, so this person really has something so special about them. That's a sweet spot. And you bring them in and you expose that part of them, you know? And everybody thinks, wow, where did you find that? And to everybody, oh, what a sweet spot that he has there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she's good looking.
The sweet spot is just eye candy sometimes.
Yeah, but that's real.
It is.
It's
It is.
some of these marketing geniuses for the car lots. They get really pretty women up there, or for granite,
Mm-hmm.
they bring out a pretty woman. You're like, yeah, look at the granite. And these are variables on. People like to have their sweet spots in certain ways, or doing certain things, and then they get big volume of sales just from doing certain things.
Right.
And
Right.
you'll find that, like you said, there's sweet spots in every business and how to recognize it.
Exactly. So I invite you to go to our website, kind of look around and see what different types of webinars are up here that's going to help support you in your business. Sometimes you finding your sweet spot has to do with understanding that you need to attract your sweet spot a little bit. So maybe it's making sure everything is clear in terms of your mind, body, and soul as it relates to your business. What does that look like? Sometimes it's your attitude. You're just talking about attitude. Remember the ABCs. A is avoid negative people. Okay? So sometimes your sweet spot has a hard time coming through because of what you're allowing yourself and how you're allowing yourself to show up in your relationships.
Can I ask you a question while we're on that, avoid negative people? I always question myself of how do these negative people make it in life? You know, I say, how are they doing it, you know?
How are negative people making it in life?
Yeah, how do they manage?
Their job is to be negative.
So
that's what they market the best of, is that negativity sometimes.
We ought to have a show on bringing the most negative people in here,
Oh, my
and let them
goodness.
go at each other. I don't know, what about you? And just let them go at each other and see if that really works. And how do they, I always say, how do they manage in life?
Well, see, I think they don't. And that's the thing. So I look at negative people in terms of like positive people. There's a saying that an apple tree will beget apples, but a tree made full of snakes will beget a tree full of snakes. You are what you project.
That's
So
right.
if you are a very negative person, I think this especially, you know, I hate the COVID thing, but meaning COVID times.
Yeah.
Okay. Those people that were already negative seem to grow and increasingly exponentially more
I can't believe
negative.
you were able to get that word
energy.
out.
I know.
Exponentially?
Exponentially. Yeah. So
I can't even hardly say the word.
you know, where you put that little number next to the big number, up to the right, you know, times that, times that. And I think this is where you have seen an increase in violence, an increase in
Yes.
literally businesses going out of business because they haven't figured out what was the good thing about being in business and how can I exploit this during difficult times, all that stuff. And they don't understand their sweet spot. There isn't one for them because they're so wrapped up in looking at those doggone weeds.
Now you have these two COVID variables or variants.
Mm-hmm.
The first one was the Delta, or
Delta, and now we have Omicron, and
Okay.
I think they got a new one out too.
But I better
recently.
put up my decorations for the Delta, and I got to take them down and put up the Omicron decorations. Now, what am I going to do?
So remember you say like your vibe attracts your tribe, which I do believe. Yay, okay. But think about this. All the negative people to me have gotten into a little cluster bubble of negativity. And all the positive people are on the outside saying, let's make this better. Let's work business a new way. Let's work our relationships and our family gatherings a new way. They have chosen to refocus themselves on their sweet spot and just find a way to get to it. The negative people have internalized.
Ooh.
And part of that internalizing means in order for that to continue to feed that negative system, they have to bring in other people who are just as negative
to do it,
to help them with it.
So like for Thanksgiving, I played it smart because I was trying to give everybody Christmas present tips on buying Christmas presents. And the best way to do it is that during Thanksgiving is, and of course we already bypassed Thanksgiving, is talk about politics, and then you don't have to buy nobody any presents. Christmas buying tips. For furthermore Christmas buying tips, come to WOW.
Yeah, come to WOW and make it a gift. Believe it or not, that's the nice thing.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
We have this set up where you can gift someone the spirit of positive relationships, positive business acumen, ways to make things better. So it's very affordable, as you can see, but make it a gift. Make it, you know what? The thing is, how many pairs of Christmas socks can you personally give someone every year? Give them something different. Give them a subscription to WOW.
And there's a lot of different kinds of gifts that you can give people, so that way, you know, instead of the standard tie, socks, underwear, shirts, and then you go out for the Christmas party and three of the guys out there have the same shirts or ties, and they were on sale over at Target's.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up, because I think I've always cherished those gifts that were, as one would say, handmade, okay? Yeah. I was pulling out Christmas lights literally last night and saw where my daughter had this little wooden heart from, God, she probably was 12.
Wow, you still have it for a decoration.
It was a Christmas ornament that she made in school, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to keep this forever. And I'm not super motherly, okay? So, you know, my sentiment on that kind of stuff is But it was just like, my baby, right? Okay, so when you think about giving something this year, I'm glad you brought this up. When you think about giving something this year, give something to someone, one, that's unusual and unique, but two, that can bring them some happiness that is something a little different. And how different is a good word? How different is an act of kindness where someone can remember you for a month, a quarter, or a year? You know?
Well, I've got kidneys up here, and I know what to give. I give tamales. That way when they have something to unwrap.
My address is.
Something to unwrap.
I'll come get them.
And their food.
That's great.
Right?
Absolutely.
Here, well, where's the gift? Well, you can unwrap these too, and then you eat them, and it's food.
I mean, the thing is,
and they love them.
I want you to think back. I want you to tell me. Let's start with you. Let's start you as you're the audience. That's right here that I know I can get an answer out of. Out of the last, let's just say last 5 years, name one of the gifts that you remember during Christmas. Did you receive that really kind of touched you or made you think, wow, this is unusual or this is special?
I would say a wallet.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Was there money in it?
No.
Oh, okay. That was the only thing that was missing, right?
But it was this really nice wallet. It's lasted me forever. It's really a nice wallet. It has my initial on it. And it's just a really solid, good quality wallet. That's what I like. Sometimes you get these wallets that they wear out from going in and out of your pocket. Well, I never take mine out of my pocket, so I have dust on it and stuff. So everybody teases me about that. What you got in your wallet? Don't leave home without it.
Don't leave it home without it.
Open it up, there's nothing in there, not even cards. Why do you carry that with you? I don't know, it makes it look good back there.
So I'd like to ask everyone out there listening, what, in the last 5 years, what was your favorite Christmas gift and why?
Ooh.
Okay, that's a kind of tough one. Because believe it or not, that's like your sweet spot.
Yes.
You know, I want to keep going back around to the sweet spot because there's so many sweet spots in life. And some of them we don't even know is a sweet spot.
And to think about some people, they go overboard with spending all this money when they don't need to. Like I said, you can go buy some tamales for $15, and everybody fights for them. You know, especially the good quality tamales. And some people will go out and buy a present. No, the limit on the presents are $150 each. What?
I'll get back with you on that.
Yeah,
because there's 10 people I got to buy for.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? And so, in my sister's household, she says we'll make $10 gifts. What? Make them? Yeah, you got to make something. You know, buy anything up to $10. Make the gift and give it to somebody else. So my brother went and bought these little chocolate. You know, they're called snowballs. They have like a marshmallow chocolate.
You're right.
He bought those. He bought a Hershey bar. He bought all those packed up in a bag. Here you go. It was great. It was like,
You talk about sweets.
Yes.
There you go.
That's what
there you go.
And he did that. He did that. It came out good. And so I like that. So you can do those kind of things. Just the sweets alone, of all of these different variables of types of sweets. Like I said, those little snowball marshmallows. Right. You've tasted those. Right? Those are delicious. They got the cream filling inside.
Please, I'm a ding dong girl myself.
See? I like that. Please,
I am a ding dong girl. I will go for the snowballs on occasion, but not often.
And on Thanksgiving, we all like to get together and do lots of fun things. And we'll put Bruno Mars on. I like the family to dance. And so everybody all start dancing. My granddaughter say, "Go to bed, old man." Put them in the nursery. They start all their bull. Cut the bit. I go, "Cause you're a wallflower. You can't stay up." So they get out. Before you know it, everybody's out there really cutting the rug, you know.
And that is part of the joy of attracting that tribe mentality. Okay, you can get everyone involved.
That's right.
When you have your sweet spot for business, the nice thing is, you can get everybody involved, or you can just be in your little happy place. It doesn't matter, as long as you know what that sweet spot is and to maximize it. The thing is this, with sweet spots, it resonates a joy. What you do for a business is hugely important, but it's only important, believe it or not, in your mind, okay? But as you're able to communicate that to others and get clients and get relationships started and all like that, the value of what you do and the passion of what you do it multiplies itself, you know? And that's part of the whole joy about being in business, you know? It's that you want to literally just share what your sweet spot is, whether it's snowball, cupcakes, or ding dong, or whatever. There's nothing better than truly living the joy and the happiness that you feel as an entrepreneur.
That's right. And here's what I do after everybody's tired, an hour and a half dancing. I go, want some pie? We had the chocolate cream pie, and the apple pie, and the pumpkin pie, and we brought the Cool Whip, of course. And
of course.
They went and put a little Cool Whip on top. I go, oh, that's one of my pet peeves. What? Go back in there and just pile. Nothing but Cool Whip on top of it. You can't see no pie. Do you do that?
Okay, well, I use the one in the can.
I use them both.
I stopped using the Cool Whip because okay, now this is just a girly thing, I'm sure. It didn't look pretty, but it used to be my mother's favorite. Was she loved just the Cool Whip? Yeah. You know, it even meant that she put the spoon in there and it took a minute to so it kind of looked like on the commercials, you know. But I'm a spray can.
I have too. We had both. So,
all right.
But it ran out because I used the.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's a boy thing. I'm going to do the guy thing, and I am going to fill my plate full of the whizzy thing, and part of it is because I want to lick the top before I put it back in the refrigerator.
Now, you would say businesses are like this, too. There's a spot where you have something about your business that just catapults you into that area where, like, yeah. And that's what you're talking about right now. So we're talking about the sweet spot in businesses. And if you want to call in, 720-386-0513, and I've got my headset on here, I'll hear the ringer.
Yeah. So I do encourage you to call in. So let me talk for a minute about why people do stuff. Okay?
I like
a lot of variables about to happen on that. Nobody knows why people do stuff. Exactly. Well, when you're in business, one of the biggest things you need to understand as a business owner is, why do you do what you do? Not just, you know what you do. You know, if you build houses or build cameras or do radio shows, that's what you do. But do you understand your why? Because when you understand your why, you understand your sweet spot, but you also get a bigger idea on what makes you unhappy as well. So, but we don't want to focus in a lot on that. We want to focus in on those happiness factors and those joy spots. Why do you do what you do? So, seeing I get to ask my wonderful sidekick, Henry, I'm going to put the question to him because I haven't heard anyone call in yet. So, why do you do what you do?
Well, here's the thing. It started a long, long time ago because we were in the computer business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I told you before, it was a brainchild of this radio station that streams. The word stream wasn't around yet.
Mm-hmm.
It was just the internet radio station. And everybody said, oh, what a cute little internet radio station. Okay, so be it. But I said and these are people that are in the business in radio for up to 40 years. And we would go into these sort of like almost arguments. I says, in the future, everything's going to be streaming. Oh, it will never overtake over the air. And I go, well, I'm counting on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, how are you counting? I go, I foresee this because the vision of the technological know-how and the move of the technology, the infrastructure of the Comcast people and the CenturyLink types of people has built up so big, and they have plans. And so she kept saying, no, there's no way. And then the word stream, commonly coined phrase, came up. Platforms, commonly coined phrase. These interactive websites like you see behind me were developed, and they have all this type of, really incredible source code behind them. You and I don't understand them as much.
No, you and I do not understand them.
But there's people who know how to do them. It's like, okay, go ahead and do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we see all these variables, and so as time went on, we locked into more of the technology, still staying ahead of the game, locked into Zoom right when it was developed. We had it in here, and everybody in here was kind of, the tribe was saying, yeah, what is this? Well, you got to learn it. Why do I have to learn it? It's going to be the future. It's going to happen. But COVID really kicked it up.
Yes, yes.
And so as time went on and we kept going, we seen something different. It like went 365. Like, whoa, what is this?
So I think it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like your why is all wrapped into having that vision made manifest, that manifest destiny, making it come into reality.
Yes,
come to life.
It come to
literally.
Life. Now, when it came to life, it was still kind of smaller. Mm-hmm. And so you had the 2,000 to 5,000 people who were like, wow! And the word platform, these things called platforms all over the world started developing. There's all these new technologies that came to play, and I thought, well, what's a platform?
But you were willing to learn it
and register with them.
Right.
And so now they register us. They send us information.
How things change.
Yeah, we'd like to have your station on here. We put it all together for you. All you got to do is change your username and password. We gave you one already, but just go. Wow.
Wow. I always love that. See, you don't even know how many times you use the word wow.
Commonly coined phrase. And see, like,
it is a commonly term.
Commonly coined phrases are the best for your business because we have gee whiz computers. Everybody says, gee whiz.
That's right.
Instead of.
Well, and for those of you who couldn't hear that just now, it was exclamation mark, asterisk, all like that, that just came out into where you couldn't hear it. Okay.
Everybody says that about their computers.
They do. And I'm glad you're kind of bringing that up. Sometimes I get in business consultations, as I don't do a lot with startups, but on occasion I'll get somebody say, well, I don't know what to name my company.
Are you there?
And the thing is you've got to look at what works for you.
Okay. Carla, we have somebody on the line.
Okay. I can't hear him right now.
Yes. This is, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
This is Ed from Detroit. I'm calling about the topic that you brought up earlier, the sweet spot.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to ask you, how do you utilize that sweet spot once you discover it in business? How do you utilize that?
Okay, so the question is from Ed from, where are you from, Ed?
Detroit.
From Detroit. Well, welcome. Thank you for calling in. So your question is, how do you utilize that sweet spot once you identify it? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think the first thing is actually making sure that is your sweet spot, okay? And then you have to look at everything around that sweet spot that makes it a sweet spot. So, for instance, I'm dealing my newest client this week, wonderful lady. She makes cupcakes and specialty cakes. And so I was asking her, why did she start her business? And so she goes into how she started her business. Now, think about that first when you're trying to identify that sweet spot. Why did you start your business? What was it about the business that made you happy? So then you have to look at, now, what's everything really closely like a nucleus. Like if your sweet spot is a dot in the water, what's the ripple effect immediately around that? So, for instance, what is your sweet spot, Ed? What would you say is your sweet spot? And then that can help you with understanding what's the ripple effect right immediately surrounding that, because that's what you want to develop more of.
Oh, you're asking me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for me, music.
Music. Okay. Now, what's the favorite part of your music? What's your favorite activity with it?
Well, let's just say in terms of music, let's just say talking about it,
Talking about it?
discussing it.
Okay. Okay, excellent. So if your sweet spot is just talking about it, the joy of it, how you put together, whatever, then your ripple effect around it should be things like what I'm doing today. It should be podcasts. It should be other platforms that you can get on that are about music discussions. It should be meetup groups or Facebook groups that you can engage with that talk about music with that joy and passion you have. That's your ripple effect to your sweet spot. So that, therefore, is the areas that you need to look to develop more on a grander scale. Because all that's going to do is it's going to enhance your knowledge, it's going to enhance your joy, and it is going to make that sweet spot even sweeter for you.
Here's a line about the music too. It says, music is sweet music. It's the queen of your soul.
Ah.
So he can use that too.
Did you get that down?
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your question. Did you have another one?
Okay. No, I just wanted to ask that question.
Okay. Well, hopefully this was helpful for you to understand a little bit about how to enhance and drive your sweet spot to a larger joy center for you.
All right, I appreciate that.
Okay. Thank you so much for calling in.
All right, thank you.
All righty. Bye-bye. I think that was an excellent question. Don't you think so, Henry?
Oh yes, of course. I like music questions are big here because we're music people, and so we get all kinds of music questions. And people who are getting into the music business, people who are already in the music business, and some of the trials and tribulations of touring, of making music, of just having members in the band, and all the variables that go with it. Here's one that I thought was interesting. They had a female singer in the band. She
Mhm.
was single.
Mhm.
And this other guy, keyboard player, single. But one of the other band members didn't like the idea that they were starting to like each other and starting to get together with each other,
Really?
which can mess up a band.
It can.
Yeah, it can right away, because there's issues. Is if one of the other members starts telling the singer, "Hey, you got that wrong. Hey, get off her, man."
Yeah, then we got to start with that.
You know what I mean? So
Yes.
So you have all the variables that go on with calls in on music, and especially touring. Touring is big because when you're touring, it's grueling. And Gloria Estefan was asked that question: "Are you going to go on tour again?" She goes, "No, it's grueling."
It wasn't her happy spot.
No, it wasn't. But I think her happy spot was getting up on that stage and seeing thousands of people screaming to the top of their lungs just for her.
Yeah, and that could be it. But the thing is, too, I'm kind of glad you brought that up. What does it take to get to your sweet spot sometimes?
That's right.
And are you willing to do what it takes, which is sometimes the ugly stuff, is looking at the weeds and pulling up the weeds in that beautiful field of grass on a sunny day. Are you willing to sometimes have to go through the hard stuff just to get to your sweet spot? And if that's the case, then you've got to start looking at not making it such drudgery or such a problem or so exhausting or whatever it is that you feel, because you've got to keep your eye on the prize.
And some of the things in running a business, you got to have critical thinking. Something I utilize all the time, and I always use humor in my mind, so I don't let anything get to me. So my motto here is, there's never a problem, only a solution. And so,
absolutely.
and if you use critical thinking, you'll always find the answer.
Mm-hmm.
So don't let that cute chick get a hold of you. Just throw her out. No. No. I thought that was
Well, let's talk for a minute. You talk
Sure.
about that. So, like on Elevate Yourself, classic example on you taking you and all that joy and pain that you feel over your business and making it a little more worthwhile. So the webinars that are on the site, there is over 65 to choose from. So good reason to subscribe monthly, quarterly, or yearly. You're going to get something fresh every single week, okay? You're going to get a new form of inspiration for you to do better at what you do, for you to take that joy spot and make it better. And I was really appreciative that Ed called in from Detroit, I think it was, to say, hey, my sweet spot is talking about my music. He didn't say singing,
Yeah.
he didn't say playing, whatever. Just to be able to talk about it. He is able to identify what that is that makes him happy for what he does as a performing artist. Okay? But it was like, it's not enough. I need more. And that's when you need to look at your sweet spot and really start sitting down, take a pencil and paper. I know, it's old fashioned, but just like here, old school lessons,
Let's talk
take
about
a
that.
pencil and
That's why
paper.
I stopped right there.
And write it down. Write down all the things related immediately to you talking about that sweet spot, or you performing, or whatever it is.
You use the word old school
Mhm.
on both of them. Old school lessons, manners,
Mhm.
wash your hands. Now this is a really good, I think, title for what you have here. Now when you say old school, it really, it relates to almost anything. It doesn't mean just us as old people knowing, all this.
Knowing what old school even is.
Yeah. So can you elaborate on both of these a little bit so
Sure.
people can understand what she meant on the titling of these two webinars, so you can go in there, and it's only $39 if you want to give a gift. It's on the page, wowforsmallbusinesses.com, and you can go on here and look for these two, and she's going to elaborate for you right now what this means, old school.
Okay, so
So you get an old school whipping, you keep messing up, boy.
okay, so for us baby boomers, or older, or somewhere around there,
Real old.
we are very familiar with the term old school, okay? The younger generation, those under, and I mean younger, under 50, you're not part of the old school exactly, but you may know a little bit. but the 20-year-olds, the 30-year-olds, the 40-year-olds, what old school is about. The term is a very common term, definitely in the baby boomer generation, but what it communicates is values, okay? Back in the day when there was morals and values and rules and boundaries and all like that, old school encompasses so much just by the term. So when I did the old school lessons, okay, manners, sit up and wash your, pay attention, wash your hands, excuse yourself, all that stuff, okay, it was based on what I was taught growing up. And I take these lessons and I'm like, I'm going to relate this to business because it matters, okay? So something like wash your hands. When you come in the door, and I had my kids do this, I don't know if their friends did it, but it was like, you hit that door from coming in from school, go wash your hands. I don't care if you do anything else. I didn't say you had to use the bathroom. I didn't say you had to do anything, but go wash your hands.
That's right.
The point was, you are going to come in and you're going to get rid of the dirty, nasty, grimy stuff from today that you don't even know is on your hands before you start doing whatever you're doing around the house or around the apartment or your schoolwork or whatever. And it's like, well, how does that translate to business? Okay? When you're done with your day, wash your hands of it. Sounds kind of weird. Let all that negative, dirty, nasty stuff go. That client that cussed you out, that telemarketer that called and was trying to sell you something and you're still thinking about it 4 hours later. Come in and wash your hands. Old school, wash your hands. At the end of your workday, get rid of all the nasty, negative stuff so you can be at home, you can be engaged with your family, you can move on to dealing with the moment.
My wife always says that. Did you bring your work home with you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I did. And you're going to get it. I'm not gonna...
And that's sometimes hard to do.
She goes, bring it. I needed a fight.
I needed a fight. Thank goodness you're home, honey. Instead of you going home and washing your hands and getting rid of it and then focusing on the moment on what you're doing.
I want to tell you this part. Then she says, then wash your hands and come and help me make dinner.
Ha-ha.
So I do. And it gets all happy.
There you go. Awesome.
But I don't like the way she treats me. I mean, she gets, sexual harassment in the kitchen is no good. Wash your hands.
Are you sure?
Sure.
So your old school lessons are really important because it goes back to basics.
Sorry, Carla, I had to go there.
That's okay, because his wife makes him wash his hands.
Oh, wow.
Let it go. Let it
Wow.
go. Let it go. So, wowforsmallbusiness.com, we're going to talk about this stuff. We're going to talk about how very basic moral lessons in life have made you a better person and how you can translate that to your business. So, even old school lessons about manners, all right? It sounds simple, but you can't believe how many people don't have manners these days.
And these people can be real successful in their business, but when they come up to you and they don't have manners, and like old school lessons, what she puts in her webinar, equates to if you treat one of your clients like crap and you're just your verbal communication skills are just nil, you can kill a deal.
You can.
Because you're not using old school lessons or things that, how to, project yourself to these people.
Exactly.
If you hear this, man, that person was really cool to deal with. Go to this one. He really deal. They're down to earth. You hear all that kind of thing, and so it's kind of neat to hear that kind of stuff.
Yeah, my partner David, he is an accountant by trade. He's got a good extra 10 years of accounting on me that I don't have. One of the things that we talk about is how funny it is. He says when clients engage him and then say, "You're an accountant," okay, stereotyping, right? So the nice thing is that sometimes when you're dealing with just say the old school lessons and manners, some of it is all socialization. People don't always realize as an entrepreneur, you've got to project yourself as approachable, okay? If you're highly analytic, most highly analytic people are not approachable.
Mhm.
They are yes, no, no smiles, let's just get down to business. Instead of realizing that there's a social nature to being in business as an entrepreneur, just like working somewhere. There's a social environment, there's a political environment, there's a physical environment. There's all these little components that make a business successful. As an entrepreneur, even if you're a solopreneur, which is a common term these days, or a sisterpreneur, that's another new term these
I like that.
days.
Those are
Yeah,
cool.
sisterpreneur. You got to kind of keep your bubble radar on to know sometimes getting to your sweet spot. If that's getting a new client, then you've got to take that little drop in the water and all the little ripple effect around it and make it really work for you. You've got to help ease into relationships sometimes instead of being all businessy.
That's right.
Even if you're tempted to be all businessy, that's,
Make it
people
work.
don't always want all businessy.
It's true. And sometimes, when people come into our place here, and sometimes I'm dressed down,
Mhm.
and they'll come in here and I'll make them feel at home and just not go there with them and just shoot the breeze and humor and everything. And they just want to stay back there hanging with me. I go, no, you got to go in. You're a guest. You're a guest. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun. So
Mhm.
it's been a quick hour.
Oh, our time is all up already.
Yeah.
What happened to the 60 minutes?
They're trying to boost their ratings.
Okay.
You can use that one. It's really cute. If somebody comes, and sometimes it's got to be somebody you know, but I did it with somebody I didn't know. If somebody keeps talking to you, who are you? With 60 Minutes? Why are you questioning me so much? Are you trying to boost your ratings?
Hey, sometimes maybe you are.
Yeah, that's true. Yes.
I will say I am here to boost my ratings, but my time is up. So
What a
please check
fabulous-
out the website when you get a chance and
What a
enjoy a free
fabulous-
webinar. Make that your gift to yourself. Hey, when you find your sweet spot for this Christmas, this year, do something for yourself. You can always do something for someone else, but think about doing something for yourself.
Mhm.
Get a little inspired, get motivated. If you are a startup, if you are in the growth phase, do something for yourself as well as for someone else.
And gift this gift of if you want, it's only $39 for the monthly. Quarterly is only $99, and you go yearly for only $3.99, which is very inexpensive for that much information. I mean, just three alone will help you with your business. You read them all, and then you go through the webinars themselves, and then listen to them all. You'll find something that helps you with your business, guaranteed. Because I just read the captions and stuff,
Mhm.
and just those parts alone. That's why, like in their part about old school, that resonates right away because it tells you, oh, maybe this is for me.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it helps you. The ABCs. I mean, right away everybody says, well, what are the ABCs? Maybe there's a lot more, and there is. You open up that webinar, there's a lot more, and then there's some free
Mhm.
ones that you can enjoy.
Absolutely.
If you want to just get to know WOW for small businesses, just go on there and you can get to
Mhm.
know her page. It's well developed. I asked her, how did you do all that? She goes, I didn't. I really thought she did.
I did it with some supervision and a great IT gal who could work a lot faster than me.
And it's fun to have those kind of people who specialize in certain things, and we specialize in what we
Mhm.
do, and everybody has their specialties in life, and you're good at it. Those are your sweet spots. It's what you do.
Mhm.
It's what makes it so sweet. Now, why did you do
Yes.
it? It was something about what I like in technology that, I saw a sweet spot. I
Mhm.
thought, someday, and everybody,
And that's part of
Of
you
the sweet-
helping identify your sweet spot.
Yeah.
Understand what your why is for
Yes.
being in business. I mean, truly, what is that why? Why are you in business? And it cannot be that generic, oh, I want to help people. I'm sorry, people out there, doesn't cut it. There is a deeper reason to your why. Identify your why, and then look to exponentially make that why resonate to that tribe and be successful, and know that you are looking at that sunshine and that grass and those flowers. Stay focused on that sweet spot. Go to wowforsmallbusinesses.com, check us out, and definitely make your sweet spot come alive by enhancing it by what you're doing.
Did I tell you that we had a get-together for all the staff here?
No, you didn't.
And it was on the 12th of November. And everybody came but two people. One had a mother who was passing away, so she couldn't make it. The other one, he got chewed out 100 times over by me for not showing up.
And he came, or you didn't come?
He didn't come.
He didn't come. See, stuff like that just motivates me, just to be all up in your face. You're gonna chew me out or make me feel bad. I am definitely going to be in your face.
I did for 15 minutes, and again he goes, "Aren't you done?" You were supposed to be part of history, because that group. And then what we did was really, really spontaneous with everybody. We have a mobile unit like this that we can go mobile anywhere in the world. We set that up downstairs with Dr. Lowell, and he had his mic, which is a condenser mic, and the headset, so it doesn't pick up all the noise of us. We had all the food, and everybody got in there and talked about their sweet spots, about their shows. And we took it live. Our event, having dinner together and talking, and we took it live, and everybody would get up there and talk about their show and their sweet spot about their show. Dr. Lynn, Dr. Sam, Dr. Lisa, all of them. Just getting up there, man, I was like, and then they took it even further. My birthday was coming up. One of the other gals brings me up, and she has a cake that says KUHS on it. She goes, "Come on, let's sing happy birthday to him." I go, "Really? Live, you want to sing happy birthday to him?"
Are you sure you want to go there, right?
Yeah, so, and then she's almost tearing up, and so we had that. And so it was all these sweet spots of that event. Because everybody says, and the guy that didn't show up, he tells me, "What are you going to have there? It's just cookies and water." I'm going to kill you. Because we have catering equipment, shaping dishes and everything. So we had hot food, we have sushi, we had everything. It was a spread, a buffet. So everybody was garbling it up, you know. So we had a great time. It was really
I think your sweet spot was everyone sharing their sweet spot.
That's right. That's what I'm telling you. And the sweets were there, of course. You can have your sweets, and that cake was to die for. That was really a cool cake. It's that cake.
I might have to get a referral.
And it had a big microphone on top. I don't know if that was cookies or whatever, how they made that. It really looked sharp. And I'll have to share that. That's our sweet spot. It was our sweet spot.
Terrific. That sounds like a wonderful memory.
And it was really hard to put everybody together in one afternoon at the same time.
But you did it,
except
2 people?
Yes. Well, one, poor dear, and her mother did pass away. Right. So it was really rough on her. And I even said on my feed when I went up on the condenser mic that I said, "I'm going to cut this little part out for you, Nikki, for your mother and all that," because
that was kind.
Yeah, so
that was kind.
Because her mother did pass away, and she came back for her show this week. And that's a sweet spot that you have for. And the reason why we did it, and you probably didn't know this, because we are so into this system here that everybody didn't know everybody.
Wow.
That was the first time everybody met everybody.
That's something.
Isn't that wild?
Yes.
And so hey, I see you, I see all your stuff, I watch you. It's nice to meet you.
What a joy.
It was really, everybody's like smiling, like, "I've never met you in person," you know? Yeah. It was really cool.
Well, I look forward to, I don't know if we have time to come back again before the end of the holidays, but just kind of let you know, I will still be here with you in January and throughout February. So definitely, I hope that everybody out there listening will be sure to watch out and tune back in, whether you just want to listen or ask a question.
And what I'm so proud of you, Carla, is your tenacity to keep pushing this, because it's taken bite right now, and I see it, and I hear it, and people are telling me about it, and they're liking to see your face a lot. You know what I mean? You're becoming part of the fixtures.
Ooh, maybe I'll be a celebrity after all.
Yeah,
maybe my lifelong dream will be realized.
And that does happen here sometimes. Several people have launched themselves out of here.
Yeah, I am not. My goal is definitely not to become a celebrity.
You never know what grabs you.
Well, that's true.
You never know.
But I always feel like I'm a messenger more than anything.
And then here's the other thing. Right after this show, stay tuned for WTF. What the frogs? Where's the food? Not the other one. What's the French fry? She's going to be on here, and Rhonda Shea is part of our staff. She has gone through some serious health issues twice, and she's coming back to talk about it at 3 o'clock, and you're going to see it. And she does all this fundraisers for all the cancer societies here in Denver, and she's big. And so she's been on all the big stations, KIM and radio, and in Denver. She's worked for Disney. She's worked for all these people. The place she loves the most is KUHS, and that makes me feel so good. She goes,
She probably loves him.
Yeah. And because of what it does, how far it reaches, it's like everybody says how incredible this place is.
It's like the magic of radio.
Yes, it's
it's
magical, and it's video. It's video and audio, and it streams all around the world. And we have Restream hooked up to it, so it's restreaming on all these other platforms, not just the Facebook feed. So it's restreamed everywhere. It's being restreamed on our website at the same time, so you can go right to our website, click on it, and watch either camera. And so the thing about Rhonda coming back is she posted it up there. I made her her poster, and she shared it, and my word, did she get a lot of people. So everybody wants to watch her come back after having her issues. I don't know how to explain her issues.
That's okay. Just say issues.
Yeah.
Hey, we all have issues, right?
So she'll be here at 3 o'clock, and
so definitely everyone should stay tuned.
I'm also her sidekick, and she loves to bounce on me. And her commercial is so cute. She says, "Don't forget to watch my comeback show. I'll be on there. And as you know, I'll be on with my favorite boob, Henry." Which means, she had some issues up here. And so she's not afraid to say all these funny things. And it's like, Rhonda, she had double
bravery.
Bravery. She calls me on the phone. And I go, Rhonda, why are you calling? She goes, I just want to tell you I'm okay. I'm working through all this and blah, blah, blah. I go, okay. She goes, by any chance, did you find any couple of boobs over there? Jesus, Rhonda. I was sitting there in the car stunned. She's hilarious. She's her bravery, her tenacity to live and to fight what she's been through. This is her second time. First time she beat it and it was all good, and then it came back.
Yeah, my sister, the first time she wasn't breast cancer or anything, but it was cancer. She beat it, and then second time around, she couldn't beat it, but she lingered longer than the average when you have pancreatic cancer.
Right.
And there'd be times she would sit there. My mother say, "Your sister checked herself out of the hospital again." And I said, "Uh-oh, what happened?" She said she wanted to go shopping. And this woman was amazing. And I was like, they gave her 6 months. And then the doctor said, okay, a year. And then finally the doctors just said, good luck. And she stayed on this planet almost another 3 full years with pancreatic cancer, which is unheard of. So there is something in people to overcome as long as possible whatever trials and tribulations they're going through, which I think make them fabulous people, because they get it.
Their tenacity. And then what's so good about Rhonda, she helps all these, they're not little organizations, they're the big ones, and she's an MC, and she's big, she's been around. And she's always speaking at these speaking engagements, and she blasts our station out there, and I watch her, and she went Wednesday again. I thought, Rhonda? Like you were saying, okay.
Well, it's been wonderful talking to you.
I wanted to share that on this show because, and then you shared with your sister, and so bless her heart, and everybody who's been through this kind of thing. KUHS does support and help out in that area, the Breast Cancer Society of Denver, and there's 3 others, and I won't say those right now because it's her show.
Well, my show was over with like 5 minutes ago, but we get it.
But we want to share that with you. We do all the PSAs. We are a community-based provider of news and helpful PSA commercials or anything like that. So KUHS does help the community in any way we can.
Terrific.
With that being said, thank you very much, Carla.
What a
fabulous show
Henry.
you have. And so stay tuned. Always call in 720-386-0513. I know there's people out there, I get them on the emails, or they'll sit there and, I'm not talking, no. Well, it's interesting. But man, if we had a dating site and it's about women and men dating, everybody wants to call it. Well, I'll tell him off. No, I'm telling you.
I believe it.
It's crazy. But that's the way it works. Well, with that being said, thank you for being part of this show. And Carla,
thank you for having me again, and I look forward to coming back.
Okay, see y'all later.
Take care. Bye-bye. That was my friend Edwin.
Really?
Yeah, who came up here a few weeks back
Oh,
from
yeah,
Detroit.
yeah.
Yeah. So
It's
now
a
I called. I was like,
Michigan.
I'm glad he called in. At least we got one person to call. I thought my new client was going to call today because I just got off of troubleshooting with her before I got up here.
Everybody's
So-
wanting things right now.
So
That was really
Anyway,
nice. That came
it
out
was,
really nice.
it
I like that
was.
sweet spot stuff. No, really.
Thank you.
That's really that would. You said you picked that up off of somebody else.
Yeah, I had a networking meeting about 4 months ago, and,
That
and
could
the
be used here.
topic was sweet spots, and I was really, it made me appreciate and understand what it is about my business. Not that I don't like certain things anymore, as much as I think I've just been doing it too long. So I was like, what is really bringing me joy? And so what really brings me joy is picking up new clients. And so I said, okay, if that's my sweet spot, why is that my sweet spot? And I get to know their books, I get to know what motivates them, I like what they do, all that stuff. And I said, that's where I'm going to spend more of my time. So basically, right now, except for 2 clients that are really high maintenance because of the nature of their businesses, I give, after that initial honeymoon period with my client, I give my assistant all their books and I tell her what to do with everybody and just let her do everything
And you have a good
else,
assistant. They can really wail with you, can't they?
She's a gem.
That's
She's been with me almost 4
that
years
word, I
now.
just used it on somebody the other day.
Gem?
Gem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said you're a rare gem. Because there's some rare gems in this world that just
Well,
come and
Erin
they can run with you and you don't even have to talk to them.
Erin is my gem. I also found out Erin is my gem because she has some of my same tendencies, such as borderline workaholic,
Henry
And I have
Archuleta.
that, there'll be times, she'll be sending me stuff, it's like 11:58 p.m. And God forbid I'm on the computer, or the next day when I see it, and I'll send her messages, Erin, go to bed. Just go to bed. Shut the computer off.
Like my
go to bed.
Like my granddaughters tell me that all the time. They're just little. There's one that she just turned 16 Thursday, but she was in the state championship for cheerleading.
Oh, wonderful.
They won second here in Denver. They should have won first, but they didn't place very well down there in the Springs for state. But they were so good.
Mm-hmm.
They do 3 stacks of flips and all this,
Yeah.
but they only placed 19th out of 25. They
That's
should.
okay.
That's what.
That's a start.
And she's only a sophomore.
Okay, so she's still got a couple more years.
Yeah, and they put her in the front, and she's like a deer in headlights. Grandpa, what's wrong? You look nervous. Do I look nervous? She does.
Yeah. Sometimes I find out with the whole nervousness
She
thing,
steps up though.
I find out that I need I know I'm nervous, which is like for me, why are you nervous? You're really crazy. What are you talking about? Right? And it's just like, just do it. Just keep it in my mind. Just start talking, start what I call singing and dancing, and it'll go away. And within 5 minutes, I forget I was nervous about whatever. Because I'm doing whatever it is that I'm put on to do. I had been invited to a conference a few weeks ago. I haven't done conferences in years. And I was like, I get in the class, and not even not that many people signed up for my workshop. And I'm like, gosh, I'm nervous.
I'm nervous.
And the funny thing was that first workshop was called, So You Think You're Ready to Be in Business?
Oh, no,
Question mark.
So you think you're ready to be in
You
business?
think you're ready to be in business?
I was going to tell you, have you ever watched that movie, Bring It On?
Oh, the cheerleaders. Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
And they all walk around like eyeballing each
Yeah.
other, and stepping up and doing all that kind
Posturing,
of.
yeah.
Yes, but man, when it comes time to perform, it's like you could hurt yourself. They stack and 3 of them stack.
It's amazing.
They
isn't
flip up there and come
it?
flying down in the middle like that. Go,
Yeah.
and boom, and then they flip out of there, and then they come flipping
Mm-hmm.
like gymnasts.
They are gymnasts.
Yeah, just boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. Go to the corners like. And they were concerned the 3rd stack, the girl kept pushing this way. She's supposed to get under. and push her up.
Mm-hmm.
And they finally corrected it.
Yeah.
And then they use these place cards that you can't see that they're there, and they turn them
Mhm.
T-H, and then spell out
Yeah.
for it. These little girls,
They're amazing.
they're badass.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna hurt yourself. No, and they moved my granddaughter from the corner, and she's not a senior, but they moved her down the middle. She's petite.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, 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 boom. I go, oh, no, don't go drop her.
I know.
Boom, boom, boom.
Unfortunately,
Bam.
there has been a lot of those.
Yes, a lot of hurts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the bad ones.
That's what I said.
You
yes,
know,
gotta
but the
do
thing
it.
is, you know, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. But they're
You're not gonna
the
do the
coach-
sport at all, or
but the
you're
coach
gonna
has
just
it.
keep learning.
The coach
to do
has it right
safely?
though.
Mm-hmm.
That there's protection underneath there. There's
Mhm.
two underneath at the bottom, but
Yeah.
the first one don't catch, the second one
Yeah.
does. So there is a safeguard. And I thought, what a smart idea that coach was thinking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can we get on the calendar?
Sure, it's right around the
Um,
corner. I put it up there.
So,
The pens-
I want to move into well, tax season's in the beginning, so money's not going to be an issue in a minute.
Okay.
So I'd like to continue right now through the end of February.
Sure.
And then see where I'm at that point as far as hits and subscribers and stuff.
Yes.
And then if need be, then I'll look to change gears and maybe just have you all run commercials for me or whatever.
Your
But I'd
wow.
like to try it a
Let me
little
show
bit
you your wow
longer.
real quick if you got a second.
Sure, I got time.
I-
The next
I'm
thing
sitting
on my
for
list
longer.
today is to go to a Christmas party for Rotary. That's not until 6 o'clock. All I have to do is make an appetizer.
Okay, so this is how many times we've been running it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see it? 505 and 108 since we started. That's quite a bit. So we gave you, we added some more in there,
Mm-hmm.
which means you're getting paid. I think I told you we're going to pay it forward for you. I haven't said that to you guys. Pay it forward means I'll give you extra if you're missing, like you miss a week or something.
Oh,
And when you pay, I said, I'm just going to keep doing that. I don't want to go in there and take these all out.
okay.
It's too much
Yeah.
work. It's more work to
Yes,
just let
yeah.
them go.
Okay.
But you're at 505 plus 180. So
And what does that mean? 505 and 180?
play counts. How many times we played it?
Oh.
We played the 60-second commercial 505 times and the 30-second commercial 180 times.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So I'll let you listen to it real quick.
Sure.
So we can catch it real quick.
The website, Wow, Words of Wisdom, is spiritual inspiration to support small business owners. WOW webinars empower dedicated entrepreneurs to meet and rise above daily challenges through positive and uplifting messages. In order to grow beyond who you are now, you have to bring yourself up to a higher standard. Go to the website, wowforsmallbusinesses.com. WOWFOR smallbusinesses.com. The Space Force Association
That's
is a
the
way you
30
can get involved in the
seconds.
space
Oh, then you got
community.
the 60
Network
seconds.
with
Well, that's
military,
way-
industry, and academic
I
leaders.
like it. Sounds good.
Our Space Force and the guardians who protect us.
Space
Okay.
The
Force.
SFA provides opportunities to
Ron is
research.
like you. She goes, I'm running a little late, so she says she's going to be here 3 minutes before. Just like
SFA
you.
will keep you updated on the latest
It
developments
is something.
in
Yeah.
space and our Space
Hey.
Force.
As long as we get here, huh?
Yeah.
As long as nobody
At
nobody has you hanging out there and you've got.
That's right.
To scramble.
No.
And I apologize for being. I mean, I
No,
literally
that's
got
fine.
off the freeway at like about 1:17, and then I was like, "This doesn't look like the right exit."
Where am I at? You
Yeah.
start daydreaming like I do.
I was like, I thought it was 120th. No. Backtrack a little. So,
Yeah, I just, I had it all set up, like I said, but I can't just, that's why I
you
keep
can't just leave it
Yeah.
open the door. And I don't know if that's the first time the door was locked.
Well, what's happened and, there's been a lot of homeless people coming in here and they put the little things to hold the door open. And they come and use the bathrooms and wash up and.
Yeah, and that's the problem I've had in my building.
people-
And I park in the back because my office is in the back.
Oh,
And I was just like, oh no, not to lock the doors permanently
oh,
locked.
so they're locking them out too?
Yeah, but because the fobs aren't working in the front of the building. They
Oh,
gave
so-
everybody keys,
Oh,
and
shit.
now it's like, I am never giving this key back. They don't know it yet. But whenever they fix the fob at the front of the building,
That'd be good.
I am gonna duplicate that doggone key so I can keep going through the back, because it's like, otherwise I gotta go in the front, I gotta walk a block and a half to the end of the building where
And
my
so,
office is.
They gave me keys to everything, so I have keys to get in and everything, all the doors. But the reason why is we're one of the only ones, but there's 3 of us that goes 24/7 in the building. So we're
Okay,
here
yeah.
like Sunday evenings, Sunday nights. We're here all the time.
Yeah.
But the only thing they made a point to tell me, you don't lock that door, it's on you. So what?
You
It's
know,
true.
But see, but I, you know, so I had found out we were
It's
having the
true.
same problem with the homeless
Yeah.
coming in,
Poor
using
things,
the
yeah, I feel
bathroom,
bad for 'em, you know?
and then God forbid if someone left our suite open.
Oh my
Because
God,
we're on
you
the
can
main floor,
go right
because
in.
there's the TV, refrigerator,
Everything.
everybody's stuff. I mean, the individual inner suites are locked,
Right.
but the lounge area is open to the public, you know? So, and there's a little love seat up front, so it's like, I
comfort
heard,
zone.
I don't know, I wasn't there, but I heard, you know, part of it was the homeless getting in, sleeping in the outer lobby. If our inner lobby or our suite area was open, raiding the refrigerator,
And
you
just
know.
getting everything, yes.
And I get the craziness.
And see, that's what they're doing in here, so, and it's only like during the weekends, like on Sunday,
Yeah, because nobody else is around.
Nobody's
So
here
it's
but
the
us,
ideal time.
yeah.
They know what they're doing. I mean, I get it, and I feel for them. And having run homeless projects for my church and stuff, I definitely have a soft spot for the homeless.
I do too.
You know, but so like even raising my kids, I'd always stop, give $1, give an apple, whatever. And one time my daughter said, "Why do you always stop for the homeless?" I said, "Because I was told, and I truly believe this, that we can be homeless at any time."
At any time.
I said, "Because I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm trying to raise you on other people's money.
That's
And
right.
if stuff doesn't work out, I go down, you
You
all
go
go
down.
down."
That's right.
I said, "I refuse for you all to go down. I love you too much." So I said, I'm always aware not to take what I have for granted, not to take all my trials and tribulations and think that someone else is going to take care of me, because that's not going to happen.
And you know how you say that? I explain that to my children too, my sons, and I explained this to them. I says, you know, and that's happened to us a couple of times, and I said, you're like my little army. You're all going to work, and we're all going to push this boat. And they did. And I thought, whoa, boy, was that a lift.
Well,
That's
okay,
4
when
men.
when I first got married, had the first kid, my husband's teenager got kicked out, came to live with us. And she went through this, "I don't want to go to school."
What?
And I said, "Delia, this is the way it works in this household. I don't know about your grandmother's household, but this is the way it works in this household. Your father gets up, he goes to work. I get up, I go to work." I said, "Lexi gets up, she goes to daycare. That's her job right now.
That's right.
Your job right now is to be a functioning member of this household.
See, you like
Your job means get up and you walk them 5 blocks to school and you stay there all day.
That's
and
right.
you get good lessons and you pay attention and you
And-
don't
and-
get into trouble."
That's right.
I
How
said, "That's
easy is
your
that?
job."
Yes, how easy is
I said,
that?
"Everyone in this house has a job. You are not going to be laying up here like you don't have a job.
That's right.
Because this is your job. Your job is to be a high school student and to come home and do your chores and get good grades. That's your job."
And what was so cool about this whole thing is like 4 men, man makes a difference. Boy, does that make a difference. You know, it's like everybody was hustling and not playing around. And they were like all happy with me, like, we're the army here, Dad. You know,
There you go.
the army, okay?
That's right. You know, sometimes you gotta instill that it's a team effort.
I got January up there too.
On the 18th?
Okay, let me see. Let me take a look. clean out his and for that one.
In January, I can't do anything this week, so, one and the other,
Yeah,
or all
yeah.
three, or what?
Yeah, usually go, I would see,
So
yeah,
like,
that would be the time to do it, talk and see,
okay, so
what
this,
times are those?
this is the one that's gonna be a problem because I teach swim. Oh, well, that's okay, because I'll be done 11:30, so and I'll be done in town, so 12 or after.
You can send me time window or something. Advocate, close it all after the time.
Okay.
Because I'm building the post in place. I really close that to the time. Put me down for this time and then I'll put that close. Like I did this, but this
Yeah,
time.
that's fine, just tell me when.
That's-
Okay, all right. Great, and
Yeah,
on
that
on the thin side, I'll send you another payment right at the end of the month.
Yeah.
On the better side, you won't get it until the beginning of January, just so you know, okay?
And then, I want to talk about that event we had. That was so freaking cool to see everybody together. And to see everybody, I've never met you. And I was like laughing because.
Well, see, that's what I'm doing on the 8th. I'm having for my nonprofit. I'm having what I call meet, greet, and eat.
That's what we did. Ours is
And-
meet, greet, and eat, it's Friendsgiving.
Friendsgiving. I like that.
Cause it's
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving.
Yeah, because I'm like, I just, I was telling the newbies today that I just joined the organization. I was like, I do this every like couple of months. I said, it's not big, it's to replace the monthly meeting, which is normally 30 minutes by Zoom,
Right.
half show, sometimes nobody shows. I said, but food,
Everybody shows.
somebody's gonna show.
Yeah, ours, there was so much good, all variety, cause everybody has variety.
Yeah.
Some people don't like,
And I
so I had
like-
Mexican food, we have rice, beans, and chili.
Oh,
Chili.
I want to talk to you about your tamales.
Yes.
So where did you get your tamales?
They're right over here at this Mexican place on 120th and Washington,
What do you know?
and it's called, it's real obvious,